All right. Somebody give me a thumbs up when you can see my screen. We got a thumbs up. All right. So again, happy Friday, everybody. We're going to kick off. We got just a few updates today, last day of second quarter. And so there's a few things closing out today. But before we do that, I'm going to kick it over to Bo to talk about our new CRM and our new AI and texting tools.
Hey. All right. So if you guys haven't noticed, we've gone kind of quiet on the WooSender front. And for those of you who were heavy hitting on the WooSender, you noticed that we kind of had to tweak a few things to make it work the way we needed it. The platform just wasn't able to keep up with our growth and the demand we had on it. So we actually went out and got a new one. So just to give you guys a heads up, Jesse and I are working hard in the background, building it out, getting it ready. It's going to be fantastic. So from a base level, it's going to completely replace everything we had before, the AI scheduler, all the tools, the automations. It's going to do all of that stuff. But that's just the foundation of what it will do. So we're going to be able to do so many new cool things with this new CRM. You guys will be able to upload your own clients into it from Aflac, and it's going to set up reminders for you to do your 30, 60, 90. There's you guys, we're so excited because of what this thing can do, and like the ideas and the things that we have for it are just the beginning. You guys are going to be able to come to us and say, hey, do you think we can do this? The answer is yes. Hey, do you think we can do this? Yes. The ability to grow with this new CRM is going to be unlimited. And we will be providing all those base things at no cost to you guys. So this is going to be a huge boom for us. But yes, there's quite a bit of background work we have to do on it. So hopefully next week we'll be launching this. But here's the question. We're going to need a few people to help us with the initial launch to basically be loud about what you like and don't like so we can change it. So looking for volunteers, just email or text me, and we'll get you on that list.
You could raise your hand on here too, on the chat, and Bo will grab you, and we'll loop you in to kind of run pilot. But guys, those of you who are running agencies and have downlines, you get visibility into your downline and activity in your downline. So I see Trevor on screen, so I'm going to use you, Trevor, as our example. You'll be able to see not only what your team is doing on our side, on the FE and the life side of things, but if we load in the Aflac side and doing the 30, 60, 90-day reminders, helping nudge your team along in the rest of your business, it's there to do that too. And setting up automations, texts, and all of that for all of your clients. Not just ours. So for those of you running agencies and those of you who are thinking about growing agencies, John Lyon, I saw you on here. Guys, there's a great opportunity to help you drive your team and help your team exceed, expand, and grow. So we're super excited about it. Jesse and Bo's brains, their heads are going to be bigger next time you see them next week because they're on with the consultant right after this. So I'm sure he's going to fill their heads with stuff. So anyway, super excited. Thank you, Bo, for the update. Again, if anybody wants to volunteer to be a crash test dummy on the system and play around with us, we'll make sure it's worth your while. We tend to reward with leads and things like that to try to make sure that we want to make sure you spend your time in the right place. So anyway, upcoming new AI and CRM. I know we've had some people who've been a little frustrated with appointments. Jesse, we're going to let you kind of talk about that. I know you were on with our licensing team yesterday.
Pray for Bo and I with the CRM thing this weekend. It's going to be a fun weekend. Lots of Mountain Dew. The contracting, what we are seeing is Aflac is on top of it. Aflac gives a writing number typically between 2 and 4 days. The carriers that we use with Corebridge, AIG, and Transamerica are anywhere from 3 to 5 weeks. And we've kind of gone all the way up to the top and said, if Aflac can do it, you guys should be able to do it too. And apparently that is actually the industry standard to get someone a writing number is 3 to 5 weeks. So what we'd like to do is when you filled out your information from Joelia over at YIG, at your insurance group, give it a solid 5 business days, a full week, And then if you would like to, she does not mind if you check in with her once in a while. We're not trying to berate her because it's not her fault. But we are trying to push those through because we know there are a lot of people waiting to sell on those final appointments. So be patient, and we're trying to do the same thing. It's not on our end, and so we apologize for the delay. It's frustrating when you see a lot of people selling a ton while you're waiting and you're anxious and you have people in front of you. So we appreciate the effort, and let's see if we can keep pushing it forward. So
awesome. Thanks, Jess. So again, 5 business days after you complete your Sure LC contract, wait 5 days, and then we can start communicating to Joelia. Joelia is a great partner for us, and she has great relationships with the carriers. So we'll push those all we can.
And I will say one more thing. I will say, like, you can still reach out to me. Like, I can look into Sure LC. As long as you've gone in and you've clicked that link, the initial link, and you've gone in and set up your login for Sure LC, you then pop up on my radar where I can at least see that you're fully complete. And when you log in your own Sure LC, you'll see little yellow flags as to what you're missing. So just make sure you do it on your end. If you have questions, please do reach out to me. But if you are fully complete, just give that little bit of time, but you can reach out to Joelia or myself. I'll keep trying to do my best. So
thank you, Jess. Bo, quick update on Kaboom.
Yeah, okay. If you guys hear weird noises, I have my robot vacuum right underneath my feet cleaning itself right now. So it's not me. It's the vacuum. Okay, so I just want to start this off with this. Okay, we are not like every other health, life, whatever company out there. We are not trying to sell you guys leads because we make money off of those leads. In fact, we went out and told this lead vendor, Kaboom Leads, with Cody Askins, if you recognize the name. We went out and said, hey, whatever override you would have given us, we want to forward that to a discount for our agents. So we don't want any commission back on this. We want 100% of any level that we could possibly give to the agent. We want it back and give it back to the agent. So with that said, I'm going to throw the discount code in the website in the chat box, and let me show you real quick how easy this is. In fact, it's going to get even easier. We're working on our own website with Kaboom, but right now this is where you go. You go to kaboomleads.com right here. You click Get Leads. So easy. There are a lot of leads in here. So if you guys are cross-selling and doing something else, feel free to grab those leads and try those out. I would love to hear, as would Jesse, Dave, Paul, how do those other leads go? So if you're doing like Medicare, maybe you're a Spanish speaker. Are you doing, I know I talked to Trevor about this. Are you trying to recruit? What are the recruiting leads like? Annuities, let us know. Because all we have practice in is the final expense leads at a statewide level. So this is what we've been doing. You just click that right there and you're right into adding your details. So it's so easy. Here you choose the amount you want. 20 is the minimum. You got to do 20. They've done enough science here in Nerd Magic that they know, like, if they do less than 20, you're not going to get a good return on your money. And then you can go all the way up to, I think, 500. I forget what it is. So let's just say we want 500 leads. By the way, if you do 500 leads, there is an additional discount. So come talk to me. So if you're buying leads for your team or something like that, let us know, because we can get even more money off your leads. And then you just fill out the info, you guys. This lead vendor is very customized. So by the time that this client gets to you, they already know your face, they know your name, they know your email, they know your NPN, they know your phone number. They may have even called you and left a voicemail. And now, oh my gosh, that vacuum, guys, sounds like
we can't hear it. We got no vacuum.
Good, because it sounds like there's a war going on in my office right now. That's why I'm talking so loud. Okay, so you're going to just fill out all this information, right? You're going to put in your info. I don't know if it just pre-filled out right, but you know what I'm trying to do. You fill it all out, and then, there it goes. Clean. You got to do that. You'll just fill this stuff out, and then here's what you do. Once you've filled out all the information in here, you're going to agree to the terms. And the terms, by the way, guys, are in your favor. So these terms are things like, hey, I'm honest. I'm not going to be a bad rep. But then all the rest of it is like, hey, if we send you a bad lead, we'll replace it. And here's like the 50 things that qualify for a bad lead. Very honest company and easy to work with. And then you pick your states. So if you are doing, like let's say Indiana, you just pick Indiana. If you have multiple licenses and you're ordering more than 20 leads, you may want to look at, hey, maybe I want to do Colorado, maybe I want to do Maine. And then at that point, you're just going to click add to cart. And then in the cart, you're going to add the one solution discount code, and you'll see all the pricing drop down. And then you just hit go. And if you guys want help with this, come to me. I'll do it for you. If you want me to do it, that's absolutely fine. If you just have questions or you want like my expertise based on what we've seen with others, let me know. But if you remember anything from today, time to lead is the most important thing. So people that are calling their leads like the second they get them are absolutely nailing these, and they're getting amazing return on their investment. The people that are having to wait several hours or days to get to them, struggle bus, but they're still getting a hold of them after they consistently follow up. And then when they do get a hold of them, it's a totally different experience. It's not, why are you calling? What do you want? They know you guys already. Oh, I'm so glad you kept up. Yes, I have questions. Let's get going. So anyway, that's Kaboom Leads. Excited for those of you who are going down this route. Give me a call. Let me know. Details in the chat box. I'm done.
Bo, there's a question in the chat. Will they give us a list of the kinds of questions the prospects have been asked?
Yes. I don't. I'm starting to wonder if it's. I'll get it for you guys, because there's a funnel that they go through, and I forget how many questions there is, but it's like very non-deceptive, where a lot of online leads are deceptive, like, oh, click here and you'll get $20,000. You might win, this. Ooh, no, it's not that at all. It's flat out like, do you want life insurance? Yeah. And then they have the funnel questions. So I'll get those.
Yeah, we'll post those for you guys so you can see what that funnel looks like. Guys, an important thing to note, Bo said they know who you are and your phone number and your NPN. That's because you built a profile. So you guys need a good headshot that doesn't make you look like you're a scary person trying to rob seniors. Put a good headshot on there of you.
Yes.
Make your NPN. It just gives you legitimately, and note that the lead will hear your name, is it 6 times through that process, and be told that you don't talk to other agents. This is your agent who's assigned to take care of you. So we're watching super high conversion of these leads, especially to Bo's point, if you jump right on them, because they do. When that lead hits your system, the person's sitting on their computer. It's like real time. So really great leads. Thank you, Bo. Thank you for sharing that.
Yep.
Just a couple other items, and then I'm going to introduce our guest here. Guys, today, last day of the quarter, really to capitalize on some of these carrier contests. I know Aflac's running their contest again next quarter, so if you missed out this quarter, no big deal. Corebridge also told us they will be having their contest for next quarter as well. They don't know if it's going to be as rich as this one, but they absolutely confirmed there'll be a contest next quarter. And then Transamerica, their convention is still live. It's still going right now. So we're at that midway point with Transamerica. And we've got a handful of people who are pacing to be on their 2025 convention. Really cool spot. Park City in June is a pretty cool spot to be. So guys, that's still out there for you guys to qualify for. As soon as we see the carrier contest for Q3, we will make sure we get it into your email box. And with the CRM, there'll be a lot more automation. So you're going to see communication really improve. Next steps, helps, and that kind of thing are coming along. So with that being said, I'm excited to introduce our guest. So I told you, OSA, we spend a lot of time making sure that we align ourselves with the right partners. We don't ever want to risk our name and our reputation. And we found somebody in Luke that our integrity aligns, our morals align, and our goal of taking care of clients is totally in alignment. Guys, quick intro to Luke. Luke's in California. Do not hold that against him. Just kidding. I know some of you are in California too. Luke is the founder of Vantage. And, we know that we run into cases, especially those of you who are in the Aflac worksite world, who have a chance to talk to business owners that may have some more complex life needs that than a simple term life, whole life, final expense, where we can deliver home runs every time on those. There's some really complex stuff. In fact, when Luke and I first started talking, he was starting to talk about some premium finance, some other stuff. And I'm a blonde because it was all going right over my head. I mean, I had no clue what he was even talking about. So with that, we're excited to introduce Luke Kibler to you guys. So Luke, take it away, my friend.
Thank you very much, Dave. Really appreciate it. Can all you guys hear me okay? Am I coming through loud and clear? Awesome. Awesome. Well, I just want to echo what you said, Dave. It's an honor to work with you guys. I'm just so impressed with what you guys have built here and what you're doing and your integrity and heart behind One Solution Agency. So thank you for having me. And I'm excited about this partnership very much. So, all right, guys. Well, I'd love to tell you a little bit about who Vantage is, who I am. I'll give you just a really quick overview so I don't put you to sleep. And then I want to give you guys a couple of case studies and examples, show you in real world what are the things exactly that we can help with, because there's some really big opportunities likely right in front of you. And if you start learning how to identify those and just simply send them our way as partners of yours, we can get it done, and it can have some great benefits for you, for the client, for everyone involved. So let me go ahead and share my screen here. Let's see if I can do this properly. We were practicing earlier, so we'll see how I do. All right, you guys see this basic ledger. All right, so one of the first things I want to mention is customized life insurance solutions. And so without getting into a ton of details, I want to talk about how it can be used in the work context for business owners in particular, high net worth clients. And I'm actually totally getting ahead of myself because I was going to tell you a little bit about me and Vantage first. So what am I doing? Wrong screen. See, classic rookie mistake. Here we go. All right, there's Vantage. There's us. All right, perfect. So really quickly, who are we? Vantage was born out of the idea of financial education. I know Dave mentioned earlier integrity and the idea of really doing what's right for people, really being a force for good in our communities. And, about 22 almost years ago, when I got into the financial industry, that was what brought me in. The financial education piece. I wanted to learn to do better for my own family, and I wanted to help people because I saw what a big impact this could make in people's lives. And so Vantage was born out of the idea of bridging the gap of lack of financial literacy and good financial decisions and protection, and building predictable tax favorable wealth. So you can see our mission there revolves around education at its center and putting people in the center of profit and control of their own lives. Our expertise is very focused, and I'll show you a little bit about how that branches. But as Dave mentioned, when it comes to much more complex uses of life insurance as an asset class for business owners, as you can see on there, buy-sell agreements, key man life, bonus programs, various things like that. Long-term care insurance in all forms is its own monster, and there's a lot of nuance there. It's one of the few things as well that has a bit of a double dipping tax benefit to business owners, where they can get a deduction on some of the expense of the premium, and at the same time, all the benefits can be tax-free. It's a very attractive executive bonus. We'll talk a little bit about that. Annuities used as a retirement tool for either protected income or protected growth or guaranteed income. We'll talk a little bit about that briefly in disability insurance. And I know some of this stuff sounds like stuff you do. And so I'll show you that where perhaps what you do might end and where we might start when it comes to things that are just a lot more complex and require a lot more work. We have this team-based model. So this is perfect. What we're doing here with One Solution Agency fits right in line with our mindset. We want to be the very best we can be in our realm of expertise for you. And in order to do that, we need to be very focused on our niche, just like you guys are. And then we look to surround ourselves with experts like you guys and people in these other realms of expertise, like tax specialists, P&C, even insurance, real estate, legal planning. We are like a hub or a quarterback for many of our clients. They come to us and go, hey, I need a living trust put together. I need a real estate expert for my portfolio. I need to really do some advanced tax planning. I got a lot of complex estate planning issues. And we bring that team together to get it done and to really put together those more comprehensive plans. And we kind of help take the client out of the center of all of that confusion and weight and bring clarity to it and bring that team together. So really quickly, that's who we are. That's our mission. That's our model. And so our goal is to partner with you and just be kind of like your hired gun, your experts that you can bring in going, hey, I got this business owner. I got this high net worth person. I got this person that's outside the box of what my normal day-to-day thing is. And I know they need something better. They need something more comprehensive, more customized. And so I want to give you a couple quick examples, some real life examples of who these type of people are and what kind of solutions we can bring to bear for them. So I'm gonna switch over here real quick. And because I don't know how to switch as opposed to turn it off and turn it on, I'm just going to turn it off and turn it on.
All good, buddy.
Back to here. All right. So I mentioned the whole life insurance. I know you guys do life insurance, term, whole life, fantastic. So one of the things that we do a little different is we can really highly customize these policies. And I'm just going to quickly show you this ledger example to illustrate the point. I'm sure many of you know, if you've sold whole life and term, especially in the whole life and UL space, many times they take several years, right, before they build cash value. You sell a typical whole life policy, it might be the third year that they start growing a little cash. It might take 20 years at least for them to be profitable. And we customize these where we crank up their death benefit at a very low cost. We crank up their cash growth and accelerate these things, and we customize it based on their age, their timelines, their health and rating class, and we bring all of these resources together. And so this is a great example where we've got kind of all these different pieces of their policy built in here to customize it to where you'll see here, this particular client is putting in $21,000 a year in premium, and their death benefits $547,000. And you notice their cash is at a positive cash flow situation by year 3 to year 4. It's growing by $22,000 from $47,000 to $69,000 in less than 5 years. This is a whole life policy. We can make it predictably profitable very, very early. And that gives them a couple unique solutions in their life. For one, we show our clients how to implement the strategy we call perpetual wealth financing, which the idea behind that is to fulfill our mission of putting our clients in the center of profit and control of their financial life. This is a way for them to own the financing of their life, the way for them to use their policy like a bank. And some of you probably heard of a concept called infinite banking. This is very, very similar, but this is a way to proactively either pay down existing debt and turn it into a profitable asset at the same time, and really take control of that, even in the business context, and become a powerful business tool, or in their personal life. But this money is useful very quickly. The point is, many times people are keeping a lot of money in the bank where it's not very profitable. And this allows them to multiply and multitask their dollars in a tax-free environment while creating leverage. So if something happens, they've got immediate estate that pays tax-free. But in the meantime, all this money is now growing tax-free, becomes a powerful asset in their retirement, becomes a powerful tool for business lending, for funding exit strategies, and a host of things. And we can make it profitable and useful very, very quickly, and very useful to them. And this is going to be tied very specifically to their cash flow and to their retirement goals. And so the goal is we want people buying assets, not liabilities, and things that are useful as possible to their bottom line. So that's one of the ways we help people. We have a lot of clients. This client is actually owns a software engineering company, and we put this together for him. I have another client we put together a plan for that owns a business consulting firm, and they show business how to scale and grow. So this is a great solution for either a bit of a higher income or higher net worth individual, or a small business owner who's looking to really build some more predictable assets. And the whole life, as you guys know, it's not susceptible to market risk. It's not susceptible to taxation, and so it becomes a valuable hedge against other risks in their retirement. Which leads me to the next thing I want to mention is, how is this useful? So I'm sure most people you talk to want to retire, right? All of us have that idea one day we want to retire, and the reason we save money at all is to build financial freedom so that we don't have to trade our time for dollars. And one of the things that we show people how to do is how to take assets like this and their other investments, the real estate, and really provide a much more magnified outcome by being more strategic. And this is a quick example of how we use the life insurance and these other customized programs to multiply the retirements. This client was on track for a pretty healthy retirement. $269,000 a year isn't bad, right? I think we can agree you can live pretty decently on that. But get this, not adding a penny more to their plan, but by strategically designing their plan between different types of assets, life insurance being one of them, we show them how they could increase their retirement income predictably to $374,000 a year without adding a penny to their plan. That's a pretty big shift. That's a massive shift. And they could also increase it slightly and create a completely guaranteed option as opposed to having one that was completely unguaranteed, entirely based on volatile market assets. So we can magnify your client's retirement and make their dollars go much, much farther by being more strategic using these different non-correlated assets, specifically in the insurance environment and the investment environment together. So there's a lot to be said there. Of course, I could talk probably for 2 hours on just this topic alone, how these things work. But again, I'm sure you got work to do, and I don't want to put you to sleep. All right.
Aren't you guys excited about somebody who's so excited about life insurance? I love it.
Isn't this awesome?
Keep it going, Luke. I love it, man.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I love this stuff because it's so empowering, and it doesn't have to be huge like this. Just I mean, we have clients that go from 50,000 a year that they're on track for to 100,000 a year. Is that a pretty significant lifestyle change? It's pretty significant. So this isn't just for the elite. This isn't just for the high net worth, rich people. This is for your everyday business owner or even middle income America. They're trying to do better for themselves and they need something a little more comprehensive. We can do something that will help them dramatically, not just be a kind of a singular fix. Like a lot of times when you're just simply selling a term life or a final expense policy, it solves one siloed need in their financial life, right? And this is a way where we can come in and kind of take a look at the big picture and provide something that's going to have a permanent benefit in their whole financial life. And you don't have to learn all this stuff, figure out all the software. We'll do it all for you. And it pays very well, by the way. And so here's a quick example. Dave mentioned premium finance. I can't see you guys right now because all I can see is what's on my screen, but I'd ask you to raise your hand if you've heard of it even. But I would guess you've probably heard of something called a mortgage, right? You've heard of real estate. So we're familiar with the idea of leverage. We're familiar with the idea of borrowing money to buy an asset and creating what's called leverage, where you can get more than you normally otherwise could afford or be able to do because of your ability to use other people's money, OPM as it's called. So this is the same idea, but in the life insurance realm. Now, these things are complex. There's a lot of ways to break them and do them wrong, but when done right, this is a powerful way to magnify what life insurance can do. And this is specifically for higher net worth, higher income people. And this is most commonly business owners, right? You're talking to business owners. Chances are they've exhausted what they can do in their 401k and their typical retirement vehicles. And they're looking for ways to build wealth a little more predictably or tax favorably and things like that. And this is one of those solutions that just knocks it out of the park. So I'll give you a quick example of what this looks like. This particular client I'm working on, they're looking at contributing. You'll see this out of pocket here. Let me blow this up just a little more so it might be easier to see. I know there's a lot of numbers on here, so I'll just read it off to you. Bottom line is the client is going to pay $75,000 a year for just 5 years in this scenario. So their total contribution is $375,000. The bank is paying on their behalf $187,905 a year. So the total premium the bank is paying in is $1.8 million. And here's what that does for them. This person is 45 years old, starting out. They're looking at taking retirement income at age 65. They've put in $375,000, and this can sustain paying out $125,000 a year tax-free for retirement. And typically we design these to go through age 90 to age 95, somewhere in that neighborhood. So now, just in that first decade there, it's paying out $1.2 million tax-free. They put in 375, sorry. And so it's a pretty incredible return. It's a way for them to build wealth where there's no market downside risk. This is typically using a very specifically designed IUL, Indexed Universal Life. Sometimes you can also do it with whole life. It's customized as well. And you can create a much higher internal rate of return with no market risk and no taxation. Pretty attractive, very attractive to people who make a lot of money and they're looking for ways to protect their money from Uncle Sam. Especially if you had to guess, where would you guess tax rates are headed in the future? Do you think they're going up or down? Going down, right?
I know after watching the debate last night, I don't know,
Yeah.
man.
Who knows?
Two
right?
really sharp candidates up there making me feel
geez.
so confident in taxation. So
Don't get me started on that. Well, that goes back to what we talked about before, which is putting yourself in the center of profit and control, right? We don't want to give the government any room to change things on us. And one of the things I love about life insurance contracts is it's a private legal contract between you and a carrier that you control. You control this. You have a lot of flexibility and control over your financial life when you know the government can never change the rules on you. Unlike a 401k or a traditional IRA, you share that account with the government. And they're going to tax you at some future unknown rate when you go to retire. You don't know what taxes will be throughout your retirement or at retirement in 15 or 20 years. And so if you have $1 million in there, you don't have $1 million. Matter of fact, you have between market risk and taxation changes, you have no idea how much money you have. And so this brings an incredible level of stability and predictability to your future. That really can change people's lives. And especially for our business owners who are putting all their blood, sweat, and tears into building a legacy for their family and building a business, this is an incredible benefit to them. Things like this are awesome. And so here's another quick example. Whoops, the control panel is getting in my way. There we go. Another quick example of someone who's doing a little bit more. Just so you can see, this is a client of mine out in Beverly Hills, Southern California area. It's a surgeon out there who owns a private practice out there, and he's looking at putting in $795,000 over 5 years. Bank is putting in $3.9 million. He's going to be able to take $427,000 out tax free per year throughout his retirement. He put in $795,000, and you can go down here to say life expectancy age 88, and he's going to be able to pull out over $8 million tax-free out of his account, out of this plan. And he put in $795. And so obviously there's a lot of other moving parts to this as to how this works and why it works. You don't need to know all that, but if you want to, I'm happy to lift the hood and show you how the engine works on these types of products and plans. But these are not short-term, really easy slam dunk things. These are things where we'll be working on this for 4 to 6 months, sometimes longer, putting these plans together for clients. But you get a few of these in the pipeline, and they can pay very, very well, and they do amazing things for your clients. And so one of the things we'll be providing to One Solution and to you guys is some really quick, easy reference guides, like who does this fit for? You know, this is for someone who's got an income of at least around 3 at minimum. We've got 2 different programs. On the low end, around 300 to 400,000 a year in income, and at least $500,000 in liquid assets at minimum for these more basic premium finance designs. For a more comprehensive premium finance design that has a little more leverage, they typically have to have closer to 6-7 million in net worth and about $1 million in liquid assets for those higher end ones. But we've got some pretty unique programs of this that have come out in the past handful of years that have really lowered the bar and made this much more accessible. Because this used to be a strategy only available for people who were worth at least 10 million and had at least a couple million in liquid assets, let alone real estate and other things. So it was very, very out of reach for the average small business owner, average even higher income person. But we do have programs that go all the way down pretty low now. So we'll send you guys some of those criteria. We'll send it to Dave. I can send you some of these quick references going, hey, here's the profile. If they can check some of these boxes, we know they're a good fit for this. And I'm going to give you guys something today that'll show you how to do a little pre-qualifying automatically, where you don't even need to know any of that. You just need to ask some of the right questions. We'll figure it out for you. That sound even better? I think so. You don't have to know. You just got to ask a few questions. This is another example, someone who did even more. We'll skip that. The next thing I want to talk about really quickly is annuities. I'm sure some of you guys in here know annuities pretty decently. We like to really simplify it down for our clients, but the bottom line is a lot of people are confused about these things. A lot of people don't know how annuities work. They are, granted, quite complicated. They have a lot of inner workings that are really tough to unpack. And there's very polarized opinions about these things. But at the end of the day, they are proven and incredibly valuable retirement asset. And when used right and designed right with a reputable company, they can be incredibly valuable and irreplaceable for their job. And so there's two main things to keep in mind here. Annuity can be used as what we call protected income or guarantee. I'm sorry, I keep switching the words up. Protected growth or guaranteed income. In other words, what if you could put money in an environment where it could earn, in this case, up to 12% with zero market risk and zero fees? You guys realize an IRA, your investment fund, all these different accounts you have, if you have a money manager, you're paying fees. You're paying load charges, you're paying management fees, typically in the neighborhood of 1% to 2%, and in certain accounts, much more. And so this is a way where there are truly zero fees in your growth. You're not paying a manager or anything, and you're going to earn up to 12%. And if the market tanks like it did in 2022, just a couple of years ago, and the market's losing between 20 and 30%, you're going to lose nothing. And then when it rebounds, you get to capture up to 12% of that. And this one has also a guaranteed fixed account in it of 5.25 right now. And so this client, is looking at putting about a 20% allocation to fixed, 80% to the index, and have some great predictable safe growth. For many of our clients, they would love to have at least a portion of their assets in a place where they know they can never lose and they can outpace inflation and they can keep it productive. So this is a great solution for your clients who've got money that's just all in the market and they need to reduce their risk and keep their profit up, keep their efficiency and growth up. And then, of course, on the other side, that whole guaranteed income side, there's a different type of annuity designed specifically for that purpose, that where we can get payout rates that are typically twice what a typical investment portfolio can sustain and guarantee someone an income for life using much less money for much more income and just provide a lot of safety and a lot of predictability there. The last thing I'll give you a quick snapshot of is long-term care solutions. Now, there are 4 primary categories of long-term care products. Good news, I'm not going to tell you about all of them today, but there are 4 different types, and we can help clients in any state. I'm going to show you one of our most popular versions today, but there's pure long-term care that works just like auto insurance or homeowners insurance. It's just purely for long-term care. There's life insurance with LTC riders or chronic illness riders. There's what's called a hybrid program or an asset care type program like this one I'm showing you. And then there's annuity-based products. And what we do is we're, as experts in that field, we survey that landscape, look at the client's financial profile and match them with the perfect match, the best solution to magnify their dollars in the most tax favorable way, once again, for this particular risk. Now, there's a lot of things we buy insurance for that aren't terribly likely to happen, right? Like, you're not necessarily likely to see your house burn down. The statistics aren't all that great that it's going to happen. It's not like you have a 50-50 chance that your house is going to burn down this year. But long-term care has a 70% likelihood of happening. 70%. Does it make sense to plan for something that has a 70% likelihood of happening? I think so. And most of our clients who understand that truth absolutely think so. This is one of their chief concerns when they enter retirement. And there's ways to pay for it more efficiently. The bottom line is it doesn't matter if you have millions of dollars. This can cost you millions of dollars. But at the end of the day, this is just good math. Even if you can afford it, wouldn't you rather pay pennies on the dollar for it rather than dollar for dollar? It just makes sense. And so this is a great example. This is a client of mine who they had some brokerage account money that hey, this is just extra money that is for that rainy day. It's for protecting retirement. And we showed them how they could do a rollover. You see here, $219,000. They rolled over, basically, let's call it $220,000. That $220,000, what that bought them was an immediate death benefit value of $405. So they just doubled their money to their estate tax-free. And an $800,000 long-term care benefit. So they just quadrupled their money for long-term care, tax-free. And it's going to pay for both the husband and the wife. Both of them have access to this pool of money when in any measure. If one of them needs 80% of it and the other needs 20% of it, it doesn't matter. It can fluctuate however, whoever needs what, it'll pay out $12,170 per month per person. So over $24,000 a month this can pay out and sustain. That's more than they put in just the first year in benefits. So it's a lot of people don't realize they can leverage their money this way. They can multiply their money this way at a guarantee. And so this is just a great example. A business owner is very attracted to things like this. And they don't have to do a rollover. They could do a monthly premium or an annual premium for 10 years or 20 years and then have it be done. There's a lot of ways to structure this if they're not in retirement yet. But this is a way to make the math really lean in your favor and take advantage of, again, ways to multiply your money. And Uncle Sam doesn't get a penny of this profit, doesn't get a penny of this increased value. And no matter what the outcome is in situations like this, you win. If you die too soon, your estate gets twice of the money you put in. If you need long-term care, you've got access to about 4 times the money than you put in. If you want to cash out and just travel the world in 20 years because I'm going to live forever, this thing is earning a guaranteed 3.75 on your cash value, and you can just cash it out. So in any scenario you can imagine, your money is never wasted. It's not a use it or lose it proposition like the traditional long-term care has been. So there's some great solutions out there for a range of clients and a range of health categories that can help them make the most of their money and protect that financial security and their family and their dignity in retirement from this medical risk. So there are some examples. We've got the higher net worth, higher income people, the more customized life insurance solutions to create magnified retirement income. Key man life. Think, hey, we got a couple key managers or key owners in a company, and they need a buy-sell agreement, and they need to fund that with life insurance, or they need to have a bonus plan to help them retire out, and they need a very custom designed life insurance plan with the legal documents to support that. We can do all those things. We've got premium finance for the higher net worth clients that are looking for more tax shelters and more places to grow their money without risk, where we can use banks' money to multiply their dollars and leverage their dollars. We've got annuities that are very specifically designed for their job and purpose that way outperform what many of the competition is selling because they just don't know how to match the right product and design to the purpose. And then long-term care. So those are some of the main carriers where we can be partners for you guys. We can be your secret weapon to go, hey, we can provide a really valuable, more comprehensive service to you, Mr. Client, and your business. Provide some really neat, unique, rich benefits, perhaps to your key people or your owners, or for you yourself, so that you can really make a dramatic difference in your wealth plan. That's what we're here for. Now, we've put together this portal for you guys. I've been working on this the past few weeks as we've been talking about how can we make this simple and easy. Dave and his team, they have some forms as well. So if you like the PDF, you can just print it off and fill out. We have a couple different forms. There's a few different versions. And we're going to actually send you fillables, by the way. Dave, we should have those for you by next week, like a fillable PDF. So if they want to just type it in on the computer, they'll have that. They can print it off and write on it if they want to go old-fashioned. Or we have this web portal that also makes it easy. Basically, you can do this in about 10 minutes with your prospect or your client. You get their name, you put your information in. This is you. You're the key contact. You're the one submitting this. And then you're going to basically put the business owner's name or the client's name, their quick contact info, and they're just going to ask them. This is going to guide you through some basic questions like, are you married? Do you have kids? What's your chief concern about your business? What's your business's revenue? What's your income? Some of the basic metrics that we would need. So again, you don't have to know which of these solutions they need, which of these solutions make sense. We'll figure that out for you. But if you just fill this out, you go, okay, I know in general, there's a lot more we could probably do here. Do you mind if I connect you with our partner firm that can help with things like retirement planning or better bonuses or whatever protection? We'll give you some of those talking points. Dave also has some of those scripts to help you. A couple quick questions you can ask to make it really obvious if it makes sense to introduce us. And all you do is you just go through this, say, hey, we want to add more value. Do you mind if we explore some of those ways? Yeah, sure, go for it. All right. And you just go through these questions. It'll take 10 minutes. You even got a little progress bar to give you hope at the bottom. And as you get it done, it'll submit it straight to us, and we'll reach out, take it from there, and keep you guys in the loop. So, that's it in a nutshell about who we are, how we can help, what we do, and some of the ways you can bring us into the picture. And of course, happy to make ourselves available to you. I'm going to put our information in the chat, and of course, Dave and Jesse and Paul, they all have our info. But you can always reach out to us and pick our brain and have a phone call with us, and happy to talk with you and answer your questions.
Hey, Luke, would you be cool to take a few questions?
Sure. Yeah. If you want to do some
Awesome.
Q&A right now.
Real quick, guys, like Luke and his team are amazing. Luke, the premiums for these kind of things, our average client when we're selling for FE and the stuff that we're selling, they're spending about $100 a month, so they're spending $1,200 roughly in AP. What kind of premium does it generate? What these types of examples, what kind of premiums do you look at?
Yeah, typically on the low end, we're looking at premiums that are more like $500 to $1,000 a month on the low end. A lot of our clients are, like the example I gave you, 21,000 a year, 50,000 a year. Premium finance, of course, is usually multiple six figures a year in premium.
Wow. So
Yeah.
when we talk about revenue, and guys, by the way, you guys are salespeople, and we know you're not doing this out of pure love of insurance.
Wait, you want to get paid? What?
they like to get paid, Luke. They like to get paid. So, and guys, there is a revenue share agreement that we have. So depending on the complexity of the case, I know you guys heard Luke mention some of these cases could take 4 to 6 months of work from their team to get them done. But there's a revenue share depending on it between 6 and 15% of the commission. So what kind of commissions would they be looking at in some of these examples, Luke?
Well, I mean, I think just for easy math, like talking about the life insurance, if someone's doing, let's just say a $50,000 policy, so $50,000, and then, typically, at a revenue share, you're talking about at least $5 to $7 grand in revenue share commission.
So in a fairly simple plan for them,
yeah,
they're making
that's not
between
even
$5,000 to $7,000, $5,000 to $7,000 for introducing you and letting you guys do your magic. That's what's happening. Yeah.
Yeah, and if it's
pretty awesome.
If it's a tenth of that, let's say it's a tenth of that, $500 to $700 just for introducing us. That's a pretty good size case that you would do yourself, for introducing us. Same thing on the annuity side. It's not uncommon that we'll do an annuity for $250,000, $500,000, $1 million, and the commissions are also pretty healthy there. You're going to make a few hundred to a few thousand just for that introduction, and some of these things can get turned around in a matter of weeks rather than months, and so you'll see that money sometimes relatively soon, inside of a month.
Hey, love it. And guys, all of the lead form and all of that will be linked on our site as well as all of the information. Luke's also got a couple of scripts to be able to talk through and ask questions and to feel confident and talking through. So you'll see all those go live on our website as well. Quick question. I'm just going to read through the chat, Luke, if that's okay with you. Do you offer assistance with the concept of pension max? I don't know what that is, but
I'm not sure what pension max is either, honestly. At least as far as that trademark, that's clearly a trademark name that's probably a common strategy that we know about.
Hey, Luke, this is Brian with Vantage. I would turn my camera, but
thanks, Brian.
My browser says it does not play well. I promise I take a shower. I promise I'm wearing a nice collared shirt, and I promise
I can feel it. Hey, you wore a collared shirt. You're one up on me, Brian.
Yeah, well, we do what we can, even on a Friday. So anyway, I think they're referring to the concept of pension max when they say that. I'm assuming they're referring to the idea that instead of taking like a lower joint payout for a husband and wife upon retirement, that they instead take the higher single life only and fund life insurance to protect the spouse. If that's not what was, and so yeah, that's certainly a strategy we can employ if it ends up being the way to go and makes sense. If that's what is being referred to, then absolutely. And if it's not, then maybe we can get a little clarification from, I think I saw that question maybe from Ted.
Thank you. By the way, guys, real quick, I failed to mention earlier, but I do want to point out several of our team are on here. Brian, obviously, being one of them. You also see Harry Sonke in there. If Harry, you want to wave. Harry is a specialist in things like Medicare and also many of these concepts I'm talking about. We've also got Darush, who's out in the Orange County area, doing business out there, and Josh Doyle. His name says Laura Unverified, but that's Josh. Laura's my daughter, and he's using my daughter's account right now. So she's also our admin manager, but Josh is our client experience team lead, and so often Josh is involved with helping make sure our clients get that first class hand holding of getting everything done in an implementer. So several of our team are also on this call, so to introduce you to them.
Love it. Thank you. Hey, the question was asked by Gio about women. What percentage of your clients are women? Do you guys see a larger, as women are definitely taking a bigger bite of the C-suite space, and We're watching women business owners explode, which is fantastic. What does your book look like? Can you give us an idea?
I would say it's probably, I mean, many of our clients are married, so inherently there's a woman involved. And many times, at least half the time, I would venture to guess more than half the time. I'd say probably 60% of the time, the woman is handling the finances. So oftentimes I am dealing with the woman. As far as women, C-suite type people or business owners, I would say that's more of a minority, probably around the 25 to 30% mark, somewhere in that neighborhood. But I'm kind of guessing here. I haven't really taken a demographic poll, but we have quite a few women that either own a business or are in leadership in some manner, or even just handle the finances of the household that are a big part of the decision making when it comes to those things. Absolutely.
Harry, you made a comment in the chat around business owners, and that especially with, we work a lot in the space with we work with Medicare clients, we work with in final expense and with older Americans. Harry, can you come off mute real quick and just talk about business owners, because we're watching a lot of the boomers moving, every 8 seconds another person's hitting retirement age. Can you talk about that? You talked about selling business in there. I thought that was a really great statement, Harry. Could you talk about that briefly? This was actually a test to make sure you could find the unmute button, Harry. That's really what it was.
Yeah,
It's a test.
Did it work?
It did. When?
It did. Yes. Yes. So the comment, of course, I made in the chat is that most business owners, of course, they look forward when you can get them to stick their head up and shake the sweat off, are thinking, wow, when I retire, I'll just sell this business and that's my retirement. But the reality is, and statistically, it's horrible. 20% of the businesses are actually resaleable. So, in other words, if I'm in business and people know my name and they know what I do and that I'm skilled in what I do and they love doing business with me, it's blue sky. They love dealing with me. Well, unless they're used to dealing with a company and a number of people in that company that have the same kind of a feel that they feel with me, they end up, unfortunately, with selling off assets at fire sales when they decide to retire. And if they haven't systematically taken money out of their business and set it aside just in case their business doesn't sell, the good news is during that time, they can actually use that money in their business as a guaranteed line of credit. So they don't have to go to the bank. They don't have to go to any kind of a committee to get an okay as to whether their investment is a sound investment. And they can also do it almost instantaneously. When I say instantaneously, they can get their money in their hands in a couple of days. Well, you know what? If you have to wait for a committee and one of your competitors is going out of business and you have a chance to swoop him up and you don't have the cash available, that might just as well be non-existent. So it gives them an opportunity for business expansion during the time it's growing. And then in case their business ends up being one of those that's sold for assets only, now they have retirement in addition to their Social Security that they can count on, and it's very predictable. So
love it.
Worst case, best case, right?
Thank you, Harry. I appreciate it. Gio, you had a question.
Yes, I'm thankful for Luke and for you guys bringing him on board here, because I think it just stimulates a whole other area of interest that is coming up every day. I was with literally a woman in the C-suite of a company in San Francisco, and the whole group of engineers that were sitting in front of me, who are all making really good money, and they're asking questions. As soon as I said, I'm going to be your Medicare planner from now on, they were coming up to me as I walked through the new offices that they had and saying, when can I set up an appointment with you? They're asking questions that are right up your alley. I can't be the person for all things. I've got to work with a team of experts, and that's what I told them. I said, look, you've known me for 26 years, and I went to a women in leadership conference in March, and those women were coming up to me and saying that we trust you. And I said, I'm going to take some time off and have some fun in the future, okay? I'm 77 years old in November, okay, and I'm still doing it, but I've got experts and people that I want to trust with my already existing client base. And I live in Marin County. 50% of the people here are going to be in the over 60 age group and within the next 50 years. And they're coming up and asking me about revocable living trusts and all those things about, taking care of their future. And they aren't doing it early enough in life. Just like myself, I plan too late. Part of the reason I'm still in the workforce because I'm a lifer with Aflac. But people like you get me excited because you bring forth a whole smorgasbord of resources that I can turn to. And I'm very grateful that you're here. Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you,
happy to
Gio.
do it. Thank you, Gio.
Well, Luke and Vantage team, thank you guys all for joining, and we look forward to a really fruitful partnership. Team, you will see all of Vantage's information on our agent portal on our site. In fact, Jesse, I think, is loading the form. You'll see most of it today. Next week we'll have the fillable form from Luke and his team, I anticipate. But guys, like I say, we've spent a number of months having conversations with Luke. We didn't just, pull open the phone book. I just dated myself even referencing a phone book. But we didn't just pull open the phone book and pick somebody at random. Paul and I have a lot of great friends in the business, but finding somebody who, I would refer. And when I even started selling insurance, was would I sell this to my mom? And that's the way we feel about Luke and his team is would we point our family to them? Absolutely. So you guys need to know that. And you do have lots of opportunities to where you can really make an impact on somebody's long-term future. Help them all you can. Sell them the Aflac product. Sell them a final expense or whatever you need to. But when it starts getting complex or really in the weeds, let's do what's right for our clients. So, Luke, Vantage, thank you so much for being here. Team, this
Welcome.
recording
Thank you.
will be put on the site, loaded on the site later today. But guys, have a wonderful weekend and a happy 4th of July. And Aflac folks, good luck to your finish to Power Weeks. So